Hi everyone, my name is Jen. I am a school social worker over with Total Education Solutions. I am here at Toyology Toys in Royal Oak. Toyology Toys is a family-owned business that specializes in education toys to work on a number of different things, but specifically to my specialties, positive behavioral skills, social interactions, and identifying and expressing emotions. There are 3 locations for Toyology Toys. There's one in West Bloomfield, there's one in Bloomfield Hills, and there's this one here in Royal Oak. I am super excited to be here, super excited to share with you a couple of toys that I have found useful in my therapy sessions. So let's get to it. All right, you guys, I'm gonna start here with a couple of books. These are really good resources for children who have a difficult time identifying emotions and expressing their emotions. They're really good starting talking points in therapy sessions. So the first one that we have is A Little Spot of Anger. I work with children who oftentimes have a hard time controlling their anger, oftentimes will show their anger through aggression and conduct. So this is a really good book. It helps children kind of learn what anger is, kind of learn what the feeling of anger is when it's coming, and then it teaches them tools on how to stay calm in those situations. We also have A Little Spot of Happiness. This is really helpful for children in terms of teaching just children ways to be happier and just to spread happiness to those around them. So we have this one. And then the third one that we have is A Little Spot of Anxiety. Anxiety can be a really tricky thing to handle with children. As we know, anxiety is actually not a negative feeling. It can be very helpful. It's there to protect us. But a lot of the times it's difficult for children to kind of control that anxiety. So this book gives you a lot of good tools for children to stay calm, handle that anxiety appropriately. So this is a really good tool for that. The next series of books talk a little bit more about acceptance of self and others. So the first one that we have is The Day the Crayons Quit. This is a really good story actually for your younger elementary kids, so anywhere from 1st grade to about 3rd grade. So this is a really good book for kids who are just having a hard time fitting in, having a hard time kind of accepting themselves and that type of stuff. The second one we have is I'm Not Just a Scribble. This book is awesome for children who are feeling like they're kind of stuck in a box. So this is a really helpful tool for those kids who are having a hard time kind of just accepting them, but also recognizing that it's okay to change and progress over time. The third book that we have here is The Invisible Scribble. This book is awesome for kids who maybe are entering a new school, feel like they aren't good enough to make new friends, are just feeling out of place. It does a really good job of talking about confidence and talking about how they can be themselves and still interact with others. So this is the third one that we have. These are really great tools for kids in terms of social interactions and acceptance. This book is awesome for working with children who are struggling with their behaviors, struggling with kind of staying on task, completing tasks appropriately. Through this entire book, it gives examples of how to be kind, how to act towards others, how to make friends with each other. So this is an awesome book, awesome series that you guys can get and just go through. It has a ton of tools of these are positive behaviors, these are negative behaviors, this is how I should act towards others, this is maybe not the best way to act towards others. So this is also really good tool in the education setting. All right, you guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the students that I work with who have ADHD or ADD. A lot of them are in need of some sensory toys or are having a hard time sitting still in class. Toyology Toys has some awesome toys that can help with this. So first of all, I'm going to start with the Thinking Putty. This is really helpful for kids who need to have something in their hands. I will typically not allow this into the classroom, but it is very helpful in the office. It's also helpful if students are anxious or just having a difficult time with their peers. it kind of is a calming sensory tool that works really well for those types of kids. Along with that, there is a scented putty. It's the same stuff. It just allows you to use some of those other senses. So feeling, smelling. So super helpful for those kids that need that. The other thing that we have is, this is called the Lollipopter. It's also very, very helpful for kids who need something that's calming. So as you move it, these rings just kind of move around, and it's just helpful for if there's a kid who got angry or got in a fight with another kid, or just not doing very well in the classroom. It's a good way to bring them into your office, give them a break, let them calm themselves, and then move into maybe talking about what the situation was and moving on from that. I also have some items that are really helpful for those ADHD kids in the classroom that are quiet. These are really helpful tools for teachers. So if you have a kid who's just having a hard time sitting still or not being able to stay quiet in class, these next few things are super helpful tools for kids in the classroom. So these are called Wiki Sticks. They're just little wax sticks, and they're moldable. They're really simple items to just keep on a kid's desk. They can still try to stay focused on the lesson, but it just gives them something to play with in their hands. So this is really helpful. The other thing is that we have, it's called Pluffle. It's like a foam-based item. You can mold it, you can move it in your hands. It's super quiet. It can just sit on the corner of the kid's desk. If they're feeling fidgety or if they're feeling like they need something, this is also a very good tool. And then finally, this is kind of like a stress ball, but it's a little bit quieter, a little bit more moldable. Again, helpful for those students who are having a hard time in the classroom, staying still. All right, you guys, as we know, we have a lot of students in our schools and our classrooms who come from a lot of various different backgrounds, have experienced a lot of trauma in the past, have experienced just a lot of hardships that they don't really know how to talk about or verbalize, or they're scared to talk about. So I have just a couple things that are really helpful to get kids to open up, to get kids to share. So a lot of kids just have a hard time talking with adults or just talking in general. These little puppets are really good tools to get children to start opening up and to start sharing something. So instead of having them feel like they're talking to you, you can use the puppets as a way to feel like they're talking to each other and get the kid to be communicating with you that way. So these are little puppets, any type of puppets, dolls, that type of stuff, are really great tools for that. The other thing that I like to use in the school setting is these are just little people. I have a whole jar of them. It's really good to keep in your office, so you can tell your kids, hey, pick out a couple of people, and then once they create that scene with these people, it's a good way to kind of talk about, why did you place this person in this place? Why did you do this? And it really is a good way to get kids to start opening up about their family dynamics, opening up about what has happened in the past, that same idea. So they're moldable, you can move them around. Kids have creative minds, so it's a good way to get them using those creative minds of theirs and kind of molding these people to shape the way that they kind of view the people around them in life as well. All right, you guys, the last thing that I kind of want to cover is positive social and peer interactions. So you got to get a little bit creative with this in the schools, but here I have, it's called a rescue rug, and it's a foam mat. It's got cars, you can add people to it. But if you do some group therapy sessions with kids, this is an awesome way to get kids to work together. You can also use it as a tool to give instructions and have kids follow directions. So this is an awesome tool for that. Also, I have a game, Cat Crimes. It's another really awesome game to use if you are trying to have kids work together. So you get a clue card, essentially complete the puzzle together. So this is a really good way to get kids working together, really good way to work on their communication skills together. All right, you guys, again, my name is Jennifer. Thank you so much for popping in. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, if you are one of those schools that is just having a difficult time or getting with your child in the school or getting phone calls from the school, please reach out to Total Education Solutions. We have awesome resources, awesome therapies that might work for your child. And also don't forget to check out Toyology Toys.